Yes, 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 yes. The boys are back. The three blind mice are back after a vacationing Brendo still
What?
slid through,
Still
right?
did
Weren't you
it.
on
Yeah.
vacation?
Yeah, but I did it.
No,
So I
that's what
wasn't
I
on,
mean. That's
wasn't
what
on
I mean.
vacation from the show.
No, I'm
I don't
saying
take vacations.
I'm
No
saying
breaks.
you showed up and someone else didn't while you were on vacation.
He doesn't, you know what? It's a matter of dedication.
It is
He
So
keeps
dedication.
you
trying to
go on vacation, I'm not showing up. That's the rule.
well, it's
Hmm.
I go
It's not
out of a
fair.
state he doesn't live in.
Right.
And he's like, "Whoa, vacation time." He takes it upon himself
Hmm.
to drink himself into a stupor and he can't he's late for the meeting. We had to do it without him.
Correct.
And
He was doing something that was a nightmare, which should
You don't
please
want
you.
to know.
Which should
No,
please you,
no.
babe.
no one told me about it. This is how I'm finding out.
Family
Family
pictures on the
photos.
beach in April
It was
with a
pretty good.
18-month-old and
Can you
two
send me?
He
Why
maniacs.
don't
said she's the ringleader of the heel turn, B.
Yes.
I
Why didn't
agreed.
wait a second? Why wasn't I made aware of this? And why don't I have pictures that I can print out and put on my refrigerator to make me feel
The
better about
heel
my family?
faction, supposedly,
She's the new
she's
ringleader.
the Gary Hart.
Hmm
That's it.
She's the
hmm
Cornette.
What do they say? Third kid,
She's
right?
fucking da, da, da. They say the third kid put you over the top
I was
every
gonna say
time.
there's a third kid in this lower
Yeah, and Billy's kids and
portion.
my niece's kids are legit, I think, like the same age,
They're
all
pretty
three.
close.
I
Yep.
mean, yeah, if not exact, like really close.
Mm.
So
So anyway,
yeah, this is Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 128. Mr.
ciento
Long.
veinte ocho and
My
stop.
name, my my name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic left, right, left kid, Mr. Brandon Long. The triumphant return of Billy Bindlesticks.
There
Billy,
he
hit
is.
him with that Billy Bindlesticks IG too. But you
Oh,
can make
Billy
the hay.
underscore Bindlesticks.
Uh-huh.
Very easy to remember.
It is. Indeed it is.
I want I I don't know if you guys saw the animation that's on there, but
Hmm. Hmm.
William is like a Simpsons character on there.
Yeah,
And,
indeed he is.
it's pretty fucking fantastic, and I'm thinking
Agreed.
that picture should be our next
Well,
shirt release.
it should rotate depending on whether he hits.
Well, what I'm saying is that should go on a shirt of him
Hmm.
wearing the shirt.
Right.
I
Right.
like the shirt that the guys, yeah, like the guys wearing a dope
You mean you?
K.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a mirror. It's like basically like
Yeah,
mirrors reflecting each
that's
other.
what I'm
Like,
saying.
yeah, where it never stops.
Yeah, exactly.
that's going to be
The
the next
reflection of the
shirt.
reflection of the,
It's just a boxing glove with KEOTB. It's
right.
simple,
Well,
so
that,
simple. It's
but
brilliant.
I want Billy Bindlestick's t-shirt. Actually,
Correct.
I
Let's
kind of
fire them up.
let's do that.
Let's get them
I need
fired
a
up.
Billy Bindlesticks t-shirt.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, strangely enough, obviously we normally jump into news, which we're still going to do. Oddly enough, because so much is going on in regard of actual fights, that there's really not much news because there's so much happening as opposed to what will be happening. You know what I mean? Um,
Did you happen to see the face off today?
I saw Dubois push
Yeah,
Usyk, and it was just so
contrived.
awkward and contrived, and you can tell Usyk wants no parts of it, but also
Right.
it's
It
like,
was
yo, I have to play along, but yo, don't do that to me like that.
don't do that. I'll sleep you.
Yeah, I'm kind of playing armchair quarterback with psychology of Usyk being like, really, I would duff you, like, but
Right. What are
I'm
you
trying to
doing?
play along, but don't do that to me because it's not. We really don't have heat. We really don't dislike each other. So, and Dubois is fresh off of a six, either seeing or being, he might have been there, being at a 65,000 seat arena sold out based
Yeah.
on hatred. So is his dumb brain telling him
I
to
don't know,
get
man.
something going?
It's
I really didn't
off-putting
like it.
and contrived. I don't like it. Don't do it.
It's
Usyk's not that kind of guy. Dubois is not that kind of guy. Don't make yourself a heel turn can't be this quick. You're supposed to be a nice, simple man in Dubois. It's enough is enough. Knock it off.
Agreed.
They
Knock it
don't need
off.
that to. Honestly, look, man, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. No one gives a fuck about this fight. So we're going to be in a Usyk hangover right now because of
I don't.
Fury. You know, I don't care about this fight.
I don't know that there's a fight in heavyweight that involves Usyk that anyone gives a fuck because of how good he is.
Right. And it's
There is,
like
there's a saying,
he beat the bad guy. He toppled
right,
the giant. He
right.
conquered Goliath.
But B, the
So,
saying, there's levels. This is a level where no one is touching it until he goes away.
right.
There's
I
not like, yo, let's wait a year because this young guy there's no one in anywhere close in the foreseeable future, in the present, that gives Usyk work. You
right.
know,
You mentioned maybe he gets old and things get competitive.
that's
So
how it happens. That's how it happens. If that happens, then
I don't know. But let me tell you something. I don't care to see him or any heavyweight for that matter getting hurt where we don't see the fight because they're fucking around playing fucking, you know,
yeah, I mean, they're standing on the pitch. God forbid the guy trips and tears an ACL or something.
it'd be
What
great if Usyk just fucking dropped a fucking left hand hammer right on his head and was like,
yeah,
what the fuck are you doing, bro? Don't touch me.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how
But I'm
that
saying I
goes.
could see Dubois going, wait, you didn't get the email.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we were
Yeah.
supposed to push one another.
Yeah, enough, man. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. All right. Just a few bits of
You are a
news.
disgrace.
Then we're
I have to
gonna get
say it like
into
Chris Eubank Sr.
Eubank Sr.
You are a disgrace. Who taught you that? Who taught you that?
Jaron Boots Ennis is mandated to defend his welterweight title against Shakram Gayasov, the WBA announced. Per WBA rules, Ennis must face Gayasov within 120 days of his April 12th victory over Stanionis. I don't know what you do there. If you're Boots, do you let them take the title from you? Because
Nah,
you're not gonna.
I think he's gonna fight him.
Yeah,
ISF was the guy who fought on the undercard, right?
yeah. I mean, he's a goon. He's good. I
But
just don't.
I think
I
that's
who is clamoring for that when there's two champions out there? You got to make.
right. So Norman booked a fight.
Yeah, that's part of the news. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So sorry to jump ahead, but Norman booked a fight, and I think he'll wait on Barrios and ask for an exemption, right? Or they're gonna make because I was thinking maybe long shot Conor Benn, right? We saw him in Philly in November, remember?
Yeah, we did.
Right. So weren't you and I saying, and everybody else got kind of buzzing like, oh, maybe they're going to try to make a Boots fight. But now that the fight we'll get into later was so successful, they'll probably just run that back, correct?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the news, So it's like,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm ruining your news. What an
no,
ass.
it's just when you leap, I gotta go. I gotta.
What a fucking piece of shit co-host you have.
I mean,
Jesus
you're a bit of a
Christ.
low life, but
Fucking
I'm not gonna harp on it. So yeah, Brian Norman Jr. will defend his WBO welterweight title against Jin Sasaki on June 19th in Tokyo. June 19th is about 2 months away. If it was a bit closer, then you could just go, well, Boots just fought and Norman just fought, so they can still make that fight for this summer, but he's fucking that up.
fuck
Jin
Norman.
Jin Sasaki's 19-1, 17 KOs. He can punch. I don't know why I don't know why they're making that fight. You'd have to ask Norman why you're going to Japan as a welter to fight a guy
To
that
fight on a Monday morning or whatever at fucking 4 a.m. in
I
front
don't
of nobody.
understand. I don't know what moves that camp is making or why they're making it. Look, I think very highly going back to the Boots thing of Shakram Gayasov, but I don't care about Boots in that. I care about unifying or going up and fighting real guys there.
Okay.
There's two other guys. There's Norman and there's Barrios. So now you go, all right, we were thinking of making the Norman fight next. So do you let Boots take off that long and say, all right, in August, we're gonna do when is it? September, his next date?
That's what they said.
So do they just wait for September and still have it be Brian Norman? July, August, September. That's 3 months in between fights for Norman, and it's still gonna be his biggest payday. So is that what they're thinking?
I don't know, man.
If you're Eddie and Boots, you know what I mean? Not these
Yeah.
idiots. If you're them, you go, all right, let him fight in June. Let him fight in
Well,
June. As
see,
long as he'll fight in September.
here's my spoiler for Boots, which sucks for him, I think, and this is why I think Gassiev, because Top Rank and PBC promotes. Okay, doesn't promote. Tom Brown technically promotes,
Yeah,
right? We all know what's going on there.
of
PBC is the
course.
management company
Of
for
course.
Barrios. Top Rank promotes Norman. PBC and Top Rank are working together for fights on Amazon. I think
Correct.
that unifier might happen before those guys fight Boots. Keep the money in-house in network. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But Stanionis just fought Boots and he's a PBC guy.
Correct. We said it can look, guys, for a lot of
I think
reasons.
right now Barrios is more likely the opponent than Brian Norman. And of course, we want to see Brian Norman because of the
Yeah, but
heat.
I'm still, bro, if Barrios happens, he's got a belt. It's still a unifier. Okay. The thing, bro, I really think Shakram Gayasov is good. And I think when Boots moves up out of here, which isn't going to be that much, a couple more fights, that's going to be the guy to me, in my just my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's so those guys can all fight it out, but Boots should fight those two dudes and go up. That's in our world. When we put on promoter hats and go in a perfect world, this
Yeah.
is what will happen. It will be one of those guys. It doesn't matter who to me. I think it might matter to you. You want to see Norman first. It doesn't matter who to me. Barrios or um
Like
uh
I think Barrios, to quote the great Tommy Ray Known, Barrios is going to hold that belt hostage as long as possible
well, we
because
know why he should, because he's not elite and taking soft it's immediately gone when you sign the Boots fight. It's fait accompli.
bro,
You should sign it, right? You should sign it and not have the fight. You should sign it, get paid, and you get paid for handing the belt to Boots. They should what's that called when a team wouldn't show up when we were kids? Forfeit.
forfeit.
Or when yeah, just what is the paydays for both guys? What is it? Let's sign this paperwork and hand it over to him. Me and you critique email champs. That's less offensive than some other things that are done.
Sure.
Look, we all this is fait accompli. This is what's going to happen. You're going to get packed up. So let's make the road to undisputed a little bit easier and do it, and then continue to have a career in Barrios. Because me and you both love the kid. He's just not elite.
Yeah.
He's a
No.
really tough kid. He's easy to sell. You know what I'm saying? He does well in markets like that. He's like a punk rock Mexican kid. He's bilingual. He's a sweetheart. He can fight. He's in good fights. He's just not elite. We're gonna get into that later about guys who aren't that. People have to stop thinking that it has to be the two best guys for fights to be good. Where were Ward and Gotti when they were both considered on their way out, and maybe they even were on their way out at the elite level. Certainly
Certainly.
Arturo was, and I don't know if Mickey ever was elite. You know what I mean? He's just a
Wasn't.
really good prize fighter.
Yeah. He's a
Blue collar,
good local guy.
a good prize fighter. Um, Usyk Daniel Dubois rematch for the ring and undisputed heavyweight championship will now take place a week later
Yeah, so
on July 19th at Wembley. The fight was originally planned for the 12th, the same day as Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz, and Shakur Stevenson William Zepeda. Intelligently, no one cut their nose to spite their face for once and didn't double book. And now 2 weekends in a row, we'll have, fun fights. Turkey Al-Sheikh tells my guy Mike Coppinger, what up, Cop? He plans to stage the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn rematch in late September at Tottenham. If they're not injured and ready, the British fans were amazing, and I thank them. Ben Shalom says it's a 2-fight deal, so all terms are already agreed and the sides are contracted for the rematch. I didn't know any of that going into this.
no,
Those
and if I'm Eubank, I'm saying we got to change that fucking rehydration shit. I'm not. If I'm him, I am not doing a 10-pound rehydration. I mean, he coughed up 600K.
All right. I look, you're not wrong, but then you're getting into okay, fair. I'm with you, but then a welterweight's fighting a light heavy at that point.
I'm just telling you what I would do if I'm
I
him. Yeah.
understand you, but and I'm telling you that if I'm the little guy, I'm going, what the fuck are you talking about?
Which is maybe why this rematch might not happen.
What are you crazy? I'm a guy at 147. I'm a 147 pounder. This isn't a guy who was killing himself to make 147 either. Let's not pretend like he was.
And I'm telling you, my son is not gonna gain weight anymore.
All right, Chris Senior. I don't know what to tell you, but
His jacket was hard.
I mean, look, that guy's been on another level as far as how he's put together for what, 40 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a gun. I mean, look, the chills I got from seeing those two and the love they showed each other. Forget these sons, you know what I mean?
So yeah,
Those two,
was that a work? The whole father and son not getting along.
look,
He's a disgrace, and then he just
when
shows up on fight night.
when we speak on guys over here, I'm confident in what we're talking about. Over there, bro, they're stars. They have TV shows,
I
all
know.
that. Someone would have to tell us. I don't know. Are they always working? I
I think
believe
they're
that
always working.
if they're always working, then yeah, it was a work. When someone says something like I don't talk to my father and I don't talk to my son, and that was a disgrace, and I don't know that you're a worker, I just go, okay.
And
Because
then, but then you knowing what you know, and with wrestling and everything else, he then shows up, swoops in
oh, it
on
was the
fight
biggest
night.
pop of the night. That pop was bigger than any of Exchange in the fight. It's
Right.
65,000 people popped. I know. Bro, it's like, it's you know how much we call people workers on this show and who studied who studied wrestling and who does this for that.
Right.
So if you're asking me with that mind, the whole shit was absolutely a work. But I'm not tuned in enough because we don't live over there. You know what
But
I mean?
you know,
Yeah.
bro.
Um, Friday night on the Zone, Thunder Studios in Long Beach, California. Justin Valoria, Brian Hawaiian Punch, Valoria's nephew. 8-0, 6 KOs. I spoke about him a couple episodes ago versus a guy named Alejandro Young Wang. They call him Chinito because he's like Asian and Mexican. But he doesn't really look Asian. He just looks, like a Mexicano, but Chinito is funny. 11-1, never been dropped or stopped. Valoria is a goon, all gas, no brakes, punches in bunches, buzzsaw. Packed up Chinito in the fourth round. Another guy on the verge of being a Pazzi prospect, Justin Valoria. His uncle's in his corner. I was a massive Brian Valoria fan when he was in the Olympics. When he turned pro, there was a piece of time where I was like, damn, he's been a little bit of a letdown. Then he'd come back and win a belt. Then he'd lose that belt. Then he'd come back and win a belt. He had like
Mhm.
a very good but lopsided career. Very, very similar to how Mark Breland came out of the Olympics. And we're like, this is the next guy. And then Mark Breland had a very solid pro career,
Yeah.
but I thought he was going to be an all-time great.
Hmm.
He won a championship, and so
Yeah.
did Brian Valoria.
Yeah. They're
This
world
kid's a
champs.
goon, B. Justin Valoria. So let's keep our eyes on him.
How's he a
Um,
prospect?
Next fight. I'm gonna is gonna tell me.
Okay.
This kid Eric Tudor, you and I, he's fighting Kevin Johnson, who we knew could handle himself in there. I'm unimpressed again by Eric Tudor. Um, he's the Florida Vito Milnicki. They should fight each other. There should be a round robin with the current version of um the Puerto Rican kid that I was high on, and he shit the bed. Xander Zayas.
Oh yeah.
There should be a round robin with Eric Tudor, Vito Milnicki, and uh Xander Zayas. Look, this Kevin Johnson hung around. He won some rounds. You know,
Hmm.
I, I probably had it. I didn't score it like officially. In my head, it was probably 6-4. You should pack someone like that up if you're a
Well,
real.
he's never been knocked out, Johnson, and
Yeah, he can fight. He's
yeah,
he's good. He's one of those
those
guys.
those guys know how to survive.
No, they do. They do.
Yeah.
I'm just not impressed with this kid if you're
Okay.
trying to sell me on it. If he's a I we also said, well, Vito Milnicki's one of those kids that in Philly, Jersey, New York, girls think he's cute. They'll come out. He'll be a local sensation. If that's what he is and what Oscar sees, I'll stop fucking with him. The same thing with Neil Nicky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we just talked about it. There's Mickey Wards. Then there's
Yeah.
world class. Then there's elite. Then there's pound for pound. If these guys sell tickets and people slide through, cool. I'm with it.
Okay.
Not going to critique you. But if you're selling me, this is a future champion, which both promotional places are. They are selling. Top Rank and Bob are selling us that about Mil Nicky, and Golden Boy is selling Evertuda as a future champion. If that's the case, I'm cutting a promo on you. If it's not, I shut up. Saturday, the Zone pay-per-view, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Tottenham, North London. Chris Billum Smith, Brandon Glanton. I believe we both picked Brandon Glanton. Did we not?
Yes.
I did. We thought Chris Billum Smith just took a really lopsided beating at the hands of Zordo.
Yes.
Respect to him. Brandon Glanton's tough. Billum Smith pulled it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you do there, B. Moving forward, a cruiser.
He gets whacked around the ring. This Billum Smith. I can't believe he stood up to the stuff.
Neither can I.
Glanton could probably get a career as a tough guy number 3 extra in Hollywood. He has that look about him.
He does.
Actually, so does Chris Billiam Smith.
They're goons. There could be goon 1 in a movie.
Yeah, they both
got
look
something going on there.
Yeah, they both look as tough as they are.
Yes. Very, very well said. Very astute thing. You look at some guys and go, that guy's a boxer like Golovkin. No, these two
look. I don't think they do anything else. They hurt people. I don't know what Chris Billiam Smith does. I don't know where he wants to go. I know that he had a tough time in terms of. I remember a story after his fight with Zerto. He came home and his child had, I guess, watched the fight or saw his face.
Oh no!
And it was heartbreaking in terms of like what a fighter goes through who has a family, who's a family man. Look, this is his job. He's an athlete, but other athletes do get hurt.
Yeah.
I imagine if a kid is at the game, watching his dad play American football and he gets like his head taken off and carted off the field, it's got to be equally as
that's probably close.
Traumatizing.
Yeah. If the players are around you in that situation,
and they're doing like the thumbs up or they're on their knee, like, oh shit.
Yeah, but other than that, boxing's the most traumatic.
And MMA, of course. I saw some shit recently in MMA fight. The guy, he's past his prime. I forgot his name. It doesn't matter. His son, after the fight, they were like sitting and talking to one another, and the guy's got a huge cut under his eyes, bleeding like fresh blood, and I was like, ugh, clean him up. Anyway, I don't know where either one of these guys go. Glanton was kind of he's, for lack of a better term, he's a journeyman at this point. And Billiam Smith we've seen him at the top level, and I think he's peaked. If this is how these guys earn money, they're just going to keep fighting.
Well, B, here's the thing. It was
he's entertaining. He's an entertaining undercard.
I think the thing is, B, a few years back when we wanted Bud and Spence, we would continue to say on this show, guys, we hate to look like we're disparaging anyone, but 147 is a 2-man division.
Right.
Cruiser is now Zordo and Jay Apatai until they got to fight each other the way Bud had to fight.
Well, there's a guy with a belt there. We'll talk about him later.
Yes.
Which I forgot that he had a belt there.
Yeah, me too. And
I don't think he competes with either one of the two guys you mentioned.
No.
Okay, moving on.
How do you say, I always said Shavon.
Shavon Clark.
Is it a ch or a sh? I say like Shay, like Shavon Clark, Vidal Riley. We said the first fight could have been a cracker. We said this one could have been a cracker. It's Shavon Clark with the upset, no?
No, he lost.
It wasn't the
Vidal Riley won.
Vidal Riley with the upset. That's what I meant to say. My apologies. It was so yeah.
I think it was wasn't it even Stevens? Pretty much.
Fight?
No, I'm saying the the betting.
It was close.
Yeah.
It was like 150, 170.
Right. Go ahead.
What are your what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Again, again, we're talking about the
I
cruiserweight
thought
division.
fights 1 and 2 could have been fights of the night, and they kind of weren't. But I'm trying to not
Yeah.
be politically correct, but not say like they weren't stinkers, but
No.
then they weren't. Oh shit! I can't
This
wait to talk about this on the show.
yeah, this was like a very local feeling card
Yeah, yes.
for 65,000 people, and it was a very
I'm not gonna pretend like we didn't say some of these might turn out being good though, and
yeah,
they
they kind these are like lower ranked guys at the cruiserweight division. Like you said, it's a two-horse race at the top of the cruiserweight
it
division.
is it is with
So
a third guy hanging around with a belt. It's not. Liam Beefy Smith versus the silencer, Aaron McKenna.
Aaron McKenna, I picked him to win a decision here,
You
and he
did?
did. Uh-huh.
I picked Aaron McKenna. I thought you said no, Beefy's gonna pull this
No,
out. I
I
couldn't
said
wait to bust balls.
no. You don't listen back to our show. You should.
I don't. I don't.
Um,
Nice sharp jab from this kid
yeah,
McKenna.
he's good.
Makes you reset. Left downstairs, left up top. Fast hands, B. Moves well, forces you to come to him, stops, pops, cracks you, then rolls out. The jab was killing Beefy Smith, and he was just walking straight in. No feints, nothing. Great punch selection from McKenna. When Smith did get inside, McKenna would crack him with a combination, then turn him with his feet. This kid's good. Through 6, it was an absolute clinic on my scorecard.
Yeah,
After the 8th, I said to myself, I'd stop this if I was the Smith corner. Just me talking to myself. Not
I've kind of seen enough of Liam Smith.
me too. Smith down in the 12th from a beautiful body shot. World-class performance from the silencer, Aaron McKenna. I had it 120, 108 in a masterclass. Judges had it 119, 108, 117, 109, and 118, 108. Brendan, I'm going to say the next thing, and this is where you're going to have to weigh in and go, what
Okay,
the fuck are you watching? And what drug did you take?
what are you watching?
I'd pick now, today,
Okay,
Aaron McKenna over guys like Hamza Shiraz, Amo Williams, and Troy Isley right now, if this next Saturday. And I think he's a problem for Janabek, Alam Hanala, Everslandi Lara, and Carlos Adames. Stamp this kid now. Has he prospect?
well,
Honestly, he's a contender to me, B. What do
all
we
right.
call
In
him?
fairness,
What do we call him?
Troy Isley's a division below. He's 54, right? Am I
Yeah,
wrong? No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. Okay, I don't think Troy Isley has the power to keep McKenna off. McKenna's taller. You're right. He's a middleweight. Um, what is McKenna's reach?
he's a
He's
tall
six
drink of
one.
water. He's a tall drink of
He's
water.
6'1". He's a 6'1" middleweight. And he's got 2-inch reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage on a guy like Troy Isley. Let me see. Amma Williams, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
This kid is good, man. This is a star is born.
Okay.
When
Hamza
when he gets
Shiraz.
packed up soon, can we delete this episode off of the Ethernet?
He's a tough Irishman.
This kid can fight, man. This kid
Yeah,
can
he's good.
fight.
I like McKenna. Shiraz, as well documented and basically scheduled, he's moved up, and he'll be fighting Berlanga, right? um, where does McKenna fit in? Can they make
You okay, sorry. Can they make who? Talk
can
to me.
can they make McKenna Adames? I
I
mean,
love that fight. I
but
love
what I'm
that
saying
fight.
is, has McKenna done enough to get a title shot? Adames is a title holder.
Then if the answer is no, then he
Mhm.
has to fight Alam Hanala. Like, okay, fair
Adames.
enough. Yes. If you
I
go,
think Adames would take that fight. I think the holdup has been Team Alam Hanala.
okay. I don't know that I believe that. Everslandi
I don't
Lara
I
is
don't
doing what the great Tommy Renone said about Mario Barrios at 47, Erislandy Lara is doing at 60. It seems like he doesn't want to mix it up with the champions
No.
there. Why I don't know. Why I don't know, because Erislandy Lara is not
Wait,
scared of people.
no, but why? What happens when you get old? And what happens when you move into a nursing home? And what happens? You start to get afraid of things, right? Start to get afraid.
Understood.
Listen, if kids drive by you banging their young kid music,
Whoa.
just like me,
I get very taken aback by
I,
this
I,
this
I
trap music.
these kids ride
These
around
kids
in
today.
these big fat tire bikes around my neighborhood,
Yeah. I know them
and
gimmicks.
I get afraid.
Yeah, you're a little scared.
I go,
Look, this guy fought a prime Paul Williams, beat him and
Yeah,
got hosed.
I don't know what's going on with
A
him, but
prime Canelo. I believe he got hosed. I had him winning that fight, but I'm not going to argue about it. I don't know.
I
I
think
think
we might buy him a one-way ticket soon to the island.
you're trying to get him back there.
I might throw
Get
him.
him out of here.
I might throw him on the island of what's the
Of
one from
irrelevancy.
Pinocchio? What's the
Misfit toys.
yeah, we'll throw him on the island of Misfit
You
Toys.
want to pit this fucker on the
I'm not
island of
happy
irrelevance?
with
I
this
thought you
fucking
wanted to send
bullshit.
them back to
Oh, to
Cuba,
Cuba? No,
like you were MAGA.
What kind of fucking
Animal are you?
yeah, what kind of animal am I?
All right,
No,
you're
I
trying to
send him
send
over
them
to
back to Fidel.
I send him over to Misfit Toys.
Misfit Toys. If he doesn't look, if these guys look, these three guys got to fight. And if they don't, you got to fight good guys. So Alam Hanala, Erislandy Lara, Carlos Adames don't fight each other next. This kid's got to be in the mix.
He's got to be in the mix. Okay, when you phrase it like that, I agree with it. All right, we like Aaron McKenna. Let's stamp him. He's an
But I
official
want you tell me what we
official
call him,
Naki.
Dave, when we think I think he's better than he's proven to
He's
be.
yeah.
You don't beat
He's
a
a
former champion that performed at a world level in Beefy Smith, who was very good at one point. I know he's a little bit long.
yeah. These guys aren't world class, but yes, they fought at the
At
top
world levels. They
at
fought the
world level,
top
right?
guys. Yeah, I mean,
We can call him you know, a
a,
knock
a,
tender.
a knocked
That's
a
just,
Pazzi no, I was gonna it would have sounded pretender or contender. No, not at all. We don't use that word with this kid. Anyway, this kid the name is hard as nails. The Silencer Aaron McKenna is a hard
yeah.
name. I think this kid is the goods. If they want to give him a fight, uh, bring him over here and
Yep.
have him fight a real guy, big that's just tough. That's not a champion. I'm okay with that too. You know what I mean? I actually forget how old he is. He's young. But you and I keep talking about what is young. If
He's 25, so that's
right,
young.
that is young. But some of these guys will go, oh, this guy's 28 and he hasn't fought anyone real yet.
Yeah.
Other than Liam Beefy Smith, who's like a real guy. And he fucking beat him from pillar to post and almost stopped him. But the
Well,
Smith brothers are so tough, he decided to get up from that body shot. He could have just stayed down. You know what I mean? I liked it. The silencer carries power late. That means something to me. All right, moving on.
I'm looking though at his stats, right? And it
Yeah,
looks as though he lives in California, lives and trains in California.
I like that.
But all of his fights are like overseas, back home.
Yeah, if it's true that he's in Cali, then he needs to be on a card there. I
Yeah.
wonder who he signed to. I wonder who he signed to.
I don't know.
I didn't get the feeling.
Is it Irish Ropes Boxing, which was
Yeah,
John Duddy's
John Dory. I don't know who he's.
I'm looking now. He's got
Yeah,
a brother too.
who his promoter is. Moving on, guys. AYB's looking up who his promotional what
Jesus
promotional team
Christ. He's got a brother that looks like he's a fucking IRA assassin. Holy shitballs.
a
Who's
little
15 and 1. Who is 28? And they both train out of
a little bit
LA.
presumptuous.
They're from Monaghan, Ireland. It's presumptuous. I'm going to send you his picture right now.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about getting afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we're moving on, right?
Anthony Yard versus Lyndon Arthur, 175. Hey man, both guys are built like bodybuilders. I talk about this shit all the time. B and I talk about it on the air and in personal life. These muscle dudes are always the dudes that talk and look tough, and they're the first one you hit and goes down. Trust me, follow me. If you're a degenerate like B and I once were, flip that guy first because he's the easiest to pack up. Bodybuilders, I always thought Anthony Yard's musculature was a hindrance for him. I said we touched on it before, but one of the biggest myths in Western culture, I don't know how it is in other places, is that weightlifter type dudes can fight. I don't know where it came from. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But again, if I'm being honest, they're the easiest people to fight, in my opinion. When shit's about to pop off, when me and you give each other that look, oh, it might go down tonight. When I see
Yeah.
them type dudes, I'll go, that's easy. We'll be out here in 3 minutes. You know what I mean? But then there's these maniacs like Billum Smith and
I
Brandon.
thought you were going to say Billy Connell.
Yeah, exactly. There's no fluidity in either one of these guys' punches.
No.
Both guys were throwing one shot at a time, nothing behind it, trading jabs that look like robots.
This shit sucked.
It was the shits. Every now and then, one of them will put a two
Sorry.
behind it or maybe a left hook. Very little to choose from, in my opinion. I'm trying to score. Not aesthetically pleasing. I had it a draw. If you think Yard nicked it, I'm fine with that. Judges had it 115, 113. 116, 112 twice for Anthony Yard. I thought the fight was the shits. These didn't look like two guys that were fighting for their lives, which at a certain stage of your career, you are, and they're definitely there.
Yeah.
If you want at 175 to make a splash in a division that's got some guys, you got to go for broke. This doesn't make Anthony Yard some sort of,
No, I don't.
everyone's got to fight him now.
Does anybody give a shit like about?
I think they do over there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they do. Let's get to the main event. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, 160 pounds. Eubank missed weight. B has a problem with the hydration clause.
0.05 pounds he missed weight by,
I thought
which
it was
is
0.2.
I read 0.0, whatever it is. It is the weight of one small egg.
Mm.
Ironically, an egg.
An
It's
egg.
an egg is what got Conor Benn paid added money. Now, in total, the fines were $600K. Okay, 500,
A lot of shit for doing nothing.
but I heard it gets split with Ben and the British Boxing Board. So we can assume that Conor Benn made an extra $300K by getting hit with an egg.
Yes.
And by his opponent being one egg overweight. We're in this situation almost 3 years later because of what he claimed were bad eggs.
Yes.
A lot of
eggs.
A lot of eggs.
A lot of eggs in his basket.
And it's Easter time.
And it's Easter time. There's fucking bunnies hopping around.
Yeah, listen. Two guys who, again, probably will never win a world title, right?
I think Conor Benn could pick up a belt at 47.
Okay.
Look, I just heard that a lot, so I'm just throwing that little asterisk in. That's certainly the view of most.
Right. We touched on it last week. We didn't realize that they were until we really, of course, you always know people's ages better than me, but at least me, I didn't realize they were 7 years apart.
Yeah.
Chris Eubank, he looks young. He hasn't really changed the way he's looked in many years.
Haircut,
handsome guy.
Yeah.
Haircut, beard, looks very similar to what he did 10 years ago. So
absolutely. He looks exactly the same. He didn't go up to 4 weight classes or something. He's been around that weight.
He briefly moved up to 168, and I think that was 3 or 4 years ago, and has moved back down.
Yeah.
So
and can't make it, clearly.
And can't make it. Dried out, looked terrible. It was evident in the fight that he had trouble. He looked like a guy in, I want to say, after the 3rd round, a guy who had trouble making weight. But with that said, they met. It was a huge event. The ring walks were really long ring walks. It was a long time.
Pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, a lot of pomp and circumstance. 67,000, I heard, was the total number at Tottenham Hotspur. Am I saying that right?
Yep. North London.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Please.
I know that they're promoting a video game, right? Fatal Fury is a video game.
I okay, I'm going to say yes because I don't know what to say. I guess.
Okay,
No, I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to
can
say I
I
guess
just
because I
say
don't know what
I
the.
don't like the term fatal when naming a boxing event.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
And I don't
And
know if
I
anybody else thought that but me, but I was like, I don't
no,
like
I don't like that kind of stuff.
it is
That's
it's a game series, by the way.
it's in poor form.
Holy shit, it's a game series since 1991.
So okay. Can I also say, look, these crossover fights of these YouTube people, they are what they are. Now they're bringing into non-crossover fights. The kid from the UK with the little dreads, and then the KSI guy, they're in all these promos playing
Who
video.
are those guys? What are
That's
they?
exactly. I don't know.
Are they so they're gamers that had a YouTube
I
channel?
don't know. The KSI guy, I know that if they show his name underneath it says YouTuber. I don't know what that means. Do you play a game and you're a YouTuber? He's homies with the white boys from here that fight and we make fun of them.
They hate each other though, don't they? They're rivals.
No, I think that's a work. I think
Logan, because Logan
nah,
Paul fought KSI.
yeah, but they own that energy
Drink
drink
thing
that kills
together.
people together. So it's a work. Billy Betts is coming in.
William
Bimbo
comes
spit.
in
He's gonna
I
shake
think a
us up and tell us what's
YouTuber
what.
can be like anybody who's just making that
YouTube
money off
videos.
YouTube and like
Do you
whether
know
they're
this
doing
guy,
prank
Billy?
videos. What's his
KSI?
name?
Do you have can you
I gotta
look on your
see him.
computer?
What's his name?
KSI, all uppercase
all
letters,
caps.
KSI. And then the kid that's from the US, the I don't know his deal. Brendan had to switch. Brendan switched over. Brendan, the
I
black
heard
kid
you.
from
I
the
could hear you.
US, is he a YouTuber?
Who I show speed?
Yeah.
Who but he's like a soccer fanatic, right? So he's always over there.
No, I don't know. I don't know any of these
I
people
don't know.
are.
You know how I know these guys? Memes when I scroll IG.
Okay. I don't know them
So
from
that
anything
kid,
but for
so
this. So I go, why are these two people, the
bro,
American kid
we're
B?
so fucking old.
It's not true. The American kid B and Irish Billy, they threw into the Royal Rumble this year. He's in the
Logan Paul?
back hanging out. No, the black kid that you just said his name. What is
I
his name?
show speed. He's a young
That
guy.
kid.
Yeah.
They show a backstage clip of Triple H talking to that guy, and the next person's up for the Royal Rumble, and that kid goes out and gets clobbered by somebody.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what is this kid? What is he?
Yeah, I
What does he
can't figure
do?
out the KSI dude. I'm like looking at it. He's got
Is he-
music videos, like
Okay,
he's a
so-
rapper.
oh,
Yeah,
so
they
he
all
makes
they all
They all
rap.
rap.
The white boys rap. B.
Logan Paul and Jake Paul rap. Oh, Jake
Yes.
Paul had a rap song, right?
Yes. Yes. They
I
just
have a
make a
rap
mockery
song,
of
too.
it and don't care. They just don't care.
Does someone write their raps
I
on a
would-
scale of like 1 to Kid Rock? Kid Rock being the worst.
Kid Rock is an 88 Rock Chem to the songs I scrolled
Okay,
through of the Paul
okay.
brothers. Kid Rock is Let the Rhythm Hit Him Rock Chem.
We need to get
Kid Rock is
Vinny
19.
in a celebrity boxing match against these guys.
There's a handful of people that I will give my purse to charity. You know, that would
I'm
be,
gonna
but
call
I'm not.
Damon Feldman.
Yeah, but see, he does like low tier shit
Right,
where it's like some person that's not a celebrity.
right.
The people I want to
Just from that statement, our inbox is going to fill up now.
there's a sliding scale. No, I asked my man
KOTBboxing@gmail.com. KOTBboxing@gmail.com.
Billy Betts. You know my man Bull that used to be in WWE. Now he works
Yep.
indie.
Yep.
He knows one of the people, and I'm like, yo, tell that dude I want blood, but it'll be for whatever charity. I'll give it all up.
Who do you want to fight?
I don't know that I should say it.
Okay.
I'll tell you guys off.
Oh, you want? Oh, okay, gotcha. Not one of the people we're talking about.
No.
Oh,
no. No. Hey, look. So Billy looked it up. He fucking went on a computer and can't figure out who these people are.
I'm
So
on
we're not
Wikipedia
those.
trying to figure it
No,
out. I
because
don't know
this
what he
fucking
does.
Brendan is always with the we're old. I'm like, someone that owns a
my guy, we are we
Okay.
we sound like my parents when a
It's
guest would be on SNL in '95 and they'd
this
go,
isn't true.
"Hey,
This,
who's that guy?"
Listen, all
this
right. Listen to the description because
thank you.
they don't even know he's an
Thank you.
English influencer, a professional boxer, and a musician. He don't
Okay.
know what he is.
He's not besides the influencer thing, he's not the second two.
Right.
He's what are the other two things? A boxer and a
Professional
rapper?
boxer
Right. He's not
and
that. He's not that. So that's wrong. And a
a
rapper? Yeah,
musician.
musician was implication is so unless you look up what his music is, I think he does like his poor version of UK drill,
Right.
you know? Um
But he's got 44 million YouTube subscribers.
yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
Okay. So listen, in 2009, he built his following through his commentary videos of the FIFA video game series.
Right.
His content
Okay.
later diversified into to include vlogs and comedic skits. Okay.
Okay, so but he started with video games. Like my
Started with
son will watch people playing
right.
video games when I buy him a video game. I'm going, what are you doing? Now, does
My
that make me sound
my
old? Yes,
yeah,
probably.
my
The
nephew
other
used
stuff
to
you're
do
just
it.
wrong about. You're wrong. You're basically saying if I go, what the fuck does Kim Kardashian do actually? And you're like, see, you sound old. She
No,
really just does nothing.
well,
They
no,
just
she does create content,
yeah, but they
and
marketed it. They marketed it from nothing. Barbara Walters with every single one of them, dude. Do any of you have an actual talent? I wasn't even a Barbara Walters fan. That might be her illest dart. She's like, do any of you have an actual
Baba
talent that we can
Walters.
Baba Wawa?
Careful, Brendan's a big
Kardashian fan? I can
Kardashian
see.
fan. Look,
Never seen the show.
he's getting
Now I
steam.
swear, wallahi, I never saw 30
Never saw
seconds
the
of it.
show.
I thought she was a dime before she was huge. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
I
they're
never saw the show. I've never seen a Real Housewives
neither
full
have I.
episode unless I had to watch it at
No, but
work.
there's this light-skinned John with green eyes who I love, and I know she's on it, but I never saw it.
I got wrapped up in like 2 seasons only because of my wife.
Yeah,
No, I know heads that like steady
mad
watch that
bro,
shit and
bro.
rewatch it.
My brother got wrapped up in shit. Same thing because of his wife. This guy was watching Dance Moms and texting me, and da da da. I go, I don't care. Get out of here. But you
Yeah.
can get wrapped up. All right, look.
Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, honey. Listen, Brendan. I don't know if you want me to talk about this because I saw a different fight than everybody else. I thought Conor Benn won. Um, I call everything I called for. I'm watching it. I'm going, he's doing it. He's doing. I wanted to text you, B. He's doing what I said. He doubled up the jab in the second. I asked him to double in. He feinted, firing off that right hand. Beautiful 1-2s in the third round. He put a hook behind it that rocked Eubank. Everything I wanted to ask for the kid, he was doing. Up and down with the jab, get inside intelligently, rip off 2-3 shots, and get out of range. Eubank is best at mid-range. Ben refused to hang out there. Ben landed a nice, short, crisp, chopping right hand that hurt Eubank. Um, Monster uppercut from Eubank in the seventh, but Ben took it and smiled, so he's got a fucking beard on him, regardless of the gas
Mhm.
from before. These two were slinging the dogs. This is a fun fight.
Fun fight.
Brutal
We
body
said
shots.
Eubank did what we said he was gonna do, which was like lead with hooks, leave his hands far out, which you can punch over. I was surprised that Conor Benn, being smaller in stature, was able to land those shots. So he still can bounce around real well. He looked better, but again, when we saw him look poor, it was against guys his own size. So
Yeah,
he's the younger, quicker guy against the older, bigger guy.
yeah,
And yeah, it's similar to how Kell Brook looked against the first 4 rounds of Triple G. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah,
oh
yeah. I
shit,
know
he's
exactly what you mean.
way fucking faster than Triple G.
Beefy Smith was doing it to Canelo. I was going, yo, this guy's ripping
Yeah,
off 3-4 punch
right.
combinations until
So,
it starts taking its
and still
toll.
starts taking his
Yeah.
toll. And this
This
was
Carl Frampton, by the way, was watching a fucking different fight than I was. I don't know what he was watching.
I didn't watch with the
Sound on?
I turned the fucking yeah, because I rewatched it yesterday and today. Ring has it up, by the way, on YouTube. If you guys less
Okay.
than 36 hours after the fight, they put the full card,
That's great.
individual fights or you on YouTube with limited advertisements. Um After the second round, I turned the audio off. Um,
Did you
because
enjoy the fight? I think it was a fun fight.
I did. It was a fun fight. I still have a lot of people are saying it was fight of the year.
I
Um,
think it's a contender
it's a
in April,
contender. I don't think that
almost May.
it's not better than the Kenshiro Taraji Segio Akui fight to me.
No, and the thing
And the
is, it's
stakes
like
were lower.
only sick maniacs like you and I were watching that. We're gonna have to for the 2025 Naki Awards remind everyone about that, and
Right.
through the year, like you just did, say it. Let's keep
Yeah.
saying it. So if let's say that someone
Because
says
that
fight
was
of
a
the year,
fucking
oh, for real, be say it again. What was the fight? So people could, if you
yeah.
think Ben Eubank was good, watch this.
Right.
You know,
So
did
I
you
get
score it?
no, I didn't score it.
Okay. Were you
But
scoring it in
if
your head, like
yeah,
kind
and
of?
I have Eubank winning due to the later rounds. I think he pulled it out. I
He
gave him the
absolutely
first.
came on late.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
he again, like I said, it's part of the reason why I'm saying like that weight cut, he didn't look himself. He couldn't. He had no legs the
When
whole
you're
fight.
down 6-2 to me after eight, this isn't you got to throw it away if you're kind of bad.
Right.
I just mean my scorecard. I'm
Yeah.
not saying everyone out there.
I just think Eubank didn't have any legs like the whole fight. Um, like you touched on, he was getting hurt by a smaller guy.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
if Conor Benn was of equal size, I think he would have probably stopped him.
He was hurt multiple times. I don't know
Right.
what constitutes the word multiple. Definitely like 4 or 5
He didn't
times.
look good the way the punches, the way he was taking the
Yeah,
punches,
but Brandon, you and I talked about oh the way he was
the way he was
taking the shots because
taking the
I thought you were going to
shots.
say he didn't look right in terms of how he looked because we were both saying his technique is kind of shitty. He's kind of got the Herman Munster.
Yeah, it sucks.
His technique is
His
poor.
jab, he was pushing his jabs.
He
There was no
pushes his jab. He
no
pushes
snap
jab,
on
so
his
he's
jab.
not making you reset
No.
or really
Um,
making you change anything that you're doing.
he to me he looked exhausted until bang. You
He
know,
didn't.
he didn't. And I'm not talking exhausted, mouth open. He didn't
No,
look
no, no,
like
no,
that.
no,
I'm
no.
talking exhausted musculature exhausted.
Musculature. This guy went through hell to get here.
He looked fatigued.
Yes, there's
You know,
difference, guys.
there's a difference. So it wasn't like he was
B's
getting
not
tired
saying
out.
he was ready to throw the talent on this guy. He was
No,
just
no,
saying
no.
this guy is
And
gaunt.
again, he said after the fight, he said I was taken aback by how much energy he has.
Yeah,
But with that said, I thought he landed a lot of shots in between Ben's flashy shots, right? So there's Ben lands a big a big shot, but if you watch, there's some let's call them boring shots in between.
right.
You know
It
that
still hurt
it
and
still
still
hurt that
land
Eubank was landing.
and you
Yeah,
score them.
and I'm scoring that. So,
Yeah, of course.
um, you know,
So you
the
didn't score it, but what would you say? Like just now off the like
7-5,
75 the other way?
7-5, 8-4,
And you think
but
I'm
close.
insane? The
No,
insane
I
value like
don't.
that?
No, I don't. And you and I have talked about this in the past throughout the course of this show.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be? Max Kellerman, right? Who would
Yep.
you rather be? Now, I
Yep.
find flaws in that method
You do.
because
I
we
don't.
are scoring points, right? We're scoring
We
touching and
are. We
points.
are. We are.
So,
But
and
we're
again,
also
I hate to say this, and he's my friend. He's a very close friend of mine. But I don't think at any point in a close victory for Paulie Malignaggi, someone would rather, you know what I mean? Who would you rather be?
yeah.
It's Paulie's the guy who's got to fight a perfect fight and off the back foot. Towards the end of his career, Paulie got on the front foot. Like
I
if you look
understood, but Paulie's an outlier because of
right,
his
but
style, because of hand problems at a
well, but
very young
again,
age.
and again, he's just not a home run hitter, right?
Right, of
So
course.
he's a singles hitter.
Right.
The point I'm making is it's very difficult for if you use that method to
I
give Paulie
understand.
a decision,
I
right?
understand that, but I still stand 10 toes down that Paulie's an outlier, and guys like that are outliers.
Right. So
I think 85% of the time you could
right,
stand on
and
who would you rather be. That's just my opinion.
good point. But what I'm saying is, I just think that there's a flaw there because we are scoring a professional
Understood. Understood.
contest,
Of course.
you know?
And
So, like, for
landed
instance,
shot.
like, all right, so if someone hits 200 or 110 free throws and the other team, shoots 23 pointers in the game, right?
Yeah.
The guy who hits the more free throws wins the game, but the or whatever you want to, however,
Yeah,
analogy,
but Steph Curry putting up, going
it looks
12,
flashier,
12 for 15 from 3-point range looks crazier on
looks
paper.
crazier, right?
All
So
right, but look,
again, I think I made my point, and
you did, but
sorry,
let me we're playing chess, so let me answer your move by saying that. Where do you stand on? Let's look at something beautiful, a beautiful performance like Bivol in the rematch with Beterbiev, right?
Mhm.
Pop, 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 3 shots, 3 nice shots, and then a return hammer right hand lands. Are you get who? What's work did you like better, that hammer right hand or the 3 nice shots? Boop, boop, boop.
See, to me, it's I'm gonna score the 3 nice shots. I will say this,
I clearly
according to CompuBox, Eubank outlanded Ben in every category
there was a
offensively.
particular stat about power shots that favored Conor Benn, but I don't have it in front of me.
Right.
I don't have
Okay.
it in front of me, so it's like I'm making it up. It shouldn't even be that. Look, I get that, and then I'll go back to, I think CompuBox or whatever they use there, punch. Let's just call them punch stats. Can be as flimsy as who would you rather have been for a guy like Paul Malignaggi. It can be flimsy. What if, what if a lot of those extra shots came in the rounds where Eubank pulled a second wind out of his ass? No, did he? And over 9 rounds, Eubank threw more, landed more. And then in the 3 towards the end, say 9, 10, and 11, Eubank threw more. I'd have to look at how they were,
Yeah.
how they put, you know what I'm
I
saying?
can, yeah. Let me,
Look, first off, look, and we also don't play this game either because it's not always something you can point to. But Chris Eubank went to the hospital and looked fucked up. Conor Benn was
yes,
ready to go to the club.
yeah,
There were rumors of a broken jaw. They said it's not broken. It is
yeah. I didn't.
fucked.
It's
It is
fucked.
fucked.
I didn't see that. It didn't. He was opening his mouth and talk. You
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean?
Which is next to impossible to do when your shit is broken. But he
Right.
was fucked up. Cheekbones,
Yeah.
jawbones, fucked up.
He took big shots.
Yeah. Someone who writes, they don't email us. Um, he hits me on the Instagram. He sees things very similar to how we do
Uh-huh.
boxing, and he goes, "No, you're flat out wrong. Eubank did more. You're wrong about everything. Eubank, that's 116, 112 is a fine card." Because I said, look, there's no way, You just said he did. There's no way you can convince me that Chris Eubank won 8 of those rounds. No fucking way. If you somehow get to 7-5 and there's a couple swing rounds, all right. A draw is much more in the realm of possibility in my head. I was not look, I had to speak on this on the Twitter. Is this guy so fucking, is there so much disdain that Pissing Dirty has people so anti him that it swayed public opinion?
Okay. I don't know. I mean, again, how much do you trust CompuBox? So let's see.
Yeah. I had this too, and it was giving me problems um in the breakdown of it.
I mean, power punches over the 10th, 11th, and 12th round. Eubank landed 54 power punches, 44 power punches, and 37 power punches if we're counting backwards. That's 40%, 46%, and 47% of his power punches were
Right,
less.
and there you go. So those three rounds, let's say you gave them to him, fair, whatever. They're right there. That can make up for the for the discrepancy.
So it
Or
says power punches again, guys. Let me see, total bows, power punches, final punch stat. Total punches, Eubank Jr., 367 out of 912. Ben, 215 out of 593. Ben
Chris
Land.
Eubank had to win 9, 10, 11, and 12 to get a draw for me.
Okay.
That's not,
That's
look,
not
I'm
out of
not
the realm.
I'm not fucking getting into robbery talk here.
Mhm.
I'll tell you why. There's a variety of reasons. I'll lead with one. Um, th- th- look, I can't get. I don't see how you give him 8 rounds, man. I'm actually. I just got flustered when I said for a variety of reasons, and then I got flustered because I'm reading my own notes, and I'm thinking 3 judges gave him 8 rounds, then Eubank, then what's his name?
I mean, I'll have to go
Who
back
did
and
Usyk
rewatch.
pack up? Who did Usyk pack up? Now he's retired. He's good. We like him.
At Cruiser,
Yeah.
Bradis,
Tony
Maris.
Bellew.
Oh, Tony
Tony
Bellew. Okay.
Bellew
Oh.
and this
Oh,
Carl
oh,
Frampton.
oh, oh.
I don't know what Carl Frampton was watching. I don't know what he was talking about most of the night. Um, for real. And I was a fan of Carl Frampton.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
a fan of Carl Frampton.
yeah, I don't know what he was talking about in his fight. Do these people fucking dislike Ben for popping hot? Do they dislike him in general over there?
Probably.
Was this a good guy? Was this good versus evil over there? Where I don't know. I go on these pages. I saw people saying he won about Ben. So
Mm.
I'm not saying I'm not in the minority, but I'm saying there are people that thought he won or that it was a draw. So 116, 112 is just wild to me. You brought up these guys aren't look, Chris Eubank certainly isn't. The drop is look, these guys aren't going to win a belt, and these fights are great. I do think these fights are great when they go to war like this. When you
Yeah.
have a possible fight of the year, we don't believe it to be the fight of the year. We already told you what we thought
What I thought
was
was
5 months in is already our fight of the year, and that hasn't beaten it. That said, I think if he chose to go to 47, there's no pro. I think Conor Benn could get by a guy like Barrios. I don't. He's not getting by Boots Ennis, but I'd like to see that. If
That's a really good fight, I think, that you just brought up.
um,
Barrios and
yeah,
Ben.
I like that fight. They want. I don't know why you have a 168. You have a super middle who cannot make 160, and a welterweight that's putting on muscle mass that's small. I think he came in at what 157 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so I why are they so horny? We're lucky that they're lucky they got a good fight out of this. What you're really doing with a rematch, you're being pigs. You're being pigs because the second time around, one way or another, is going to be disastrous for one guy or the other. Either they're not going to change what happened, right? They're not going
Yeah.
to change the rehydration clause, which you
Is
have in
what
it.
is 156 and a half.
I mean, yeah, bro. He's 4 pounds lighter than a middleweight fighting a super middle. Arguably, he could be a light heavy. These guys aren't close in weight. You're not talking about a Bud Crawford doing it, a pound for pound guy chasing greatness. You're talking about a guy who appeared to possibly be really good, proved he was on gas. He's putting on 10 pounds of muscle and mass to go up. I don't know that a fight like that. Yeah, do you want a rematch until you start talking about the minutia? You're saying,
Mhm.
look at this guy. He killed himself. There's no way I would sign up for that again to make 60. I can't do it. I'm wrapped up in a fucking blanket to try to do this. I was over by the size of a small egg. There's no way I'm doing it. You got to move it to 172 or whatever the rehydration clause is, or 73,
Yeah.
whatever the next day.
If I'm him, I'm saying we got to do that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna move on.
And then
Do,
you go, and if you're Ben, you go, well, this fucking guy's already huge. Look at the two of us in the ring together.
do
It's
you
fuck.
know what paydays were off the top of your head?
I actually have no fucking
I have no
idea.
clue either.
None. I don't know that. I don't know, and I don't know how it did because we had two people telling us two different things. The guy who told me I'm completely wrong with my scorecard was the one who told us that everyone will steal it over there. Remember when I said what
Yeah.
would the numbers be?
Hmm.
And the other kid said the pay-per-view will do really well. You know what I mean? The people that wrote in or wrote to us personally. We
Okay.
don't know any of it yet. It might take until our next episode, unless you can find it, or you
Yeah.
might find the purses. We're not going to get the pay-per-view buys until like next week or maybe 2 episodes. I
Yeah.
don't know if the purses are out there yet. They got paid handsomely. Let's say that. Um, Look, if you totally disagree with my scorecard,
I got it.
okay.
Eubank will earn £8 million,
Holy sh!
and Conor Benn is expected to earn 5 million, between 5 million and £8 million.
Wow, wow,
However,
we.
depending on the event's performance, it is possible that both fighters could receive additional bonuses tied to pay-per-view success.
I was gonna say to you, babe, if it was a success, I could see them both closing in on 10
So
at that. That is a superstar payday, guys.
correct.
That's a superstar. That's more than some Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao, what do you know? Do you, well, he's your friend, so I don't know if you want to say it, even though it's out there.
Nah,
Do you
yeah,
remember what Chris Algieri got for Pacquiao? Was it
1.5.
1.5? I think Pacquiao got like 6 million for that fight. These guys are closing in on 10 each. That's a superstar payday. So
Yeah.
enough with me and B asking, are these guys stars over there? That's over.
Uh,
They're fucking royalty over
all
there.
right. Well, now we know why they made it and why they might have a rematch.
I'm
So,
just asking you, what do you think about that before we move into this weekend? What would you who does a rematch benefit more? If you're both guys, which guy should want the rematch more and which guy should chase something else? Forget who you thought win. Forget who the public thought
well,
won.
look, the rematch obviously benefits Conor Benn more. Okay. He would earn more in the rematch, likely, right? Even though he lost, he sometimes when you lose, you win, right? Like white man can't jump. Even though he won,
Did
he really
he
lost.
can I cut you off even though
You
I
can.
asked you to pontificate? With the you wanting to put him on the island of misfits toys for popping hot,
Hmm.
with you standing 10 toes down. No, get these guys out of here. Pack them up.
Yeah, you have to make an example of him so
Did this performance where we are assuming, look, it's the worst sport
that
to
he's
assume.
clean.
He's absolutely fucking clean as a whistle for this fight. Did that performance move move it all for you? Not about wanting him banned. I understand your stance is one and done, you're out of here. You're not going to change on that. But the sport doesn't do that. So let's deal with our reality. The
Does he get
reality
rewarded
is,
for this performance?
does to you, are you like, yo, Conor Benn? All right. Like, were you like,
Yeah.
yo,
He
it's a
gets rewarded
fucking,
for this
it's a
performance. Like
big guy.
I said earlier in the show, this would set up a nice fight with Boots.
No, 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 no. You're talking about the reality of boxing. I'm talking about my co-host, Brendan Long. Are you rewarding him for that performance? Yo, that's a tough
Oh,
motherfucker.
me?
Yeah. He's not,
No.
so he doesn't budge where you had him.
No, because all the other reasons we said. Eubank A is not world level, right? These guys are a step below world class.
Yeah.
Two, he's drained, obvious and evident, and he's 7 years older.
You're absolutely in the minority. There,
Okay.
the narrative. We hate all these buzzwords on this
Right.
show. Like,
Right.
what's the other one we hate? Downloading information.
Downloading information.
The narrative is that, like you said, win, lose, or draw. What's the line you were going to use? White man can't jump. Even when you
Yeah.
win, when you lose, you
Yeah.
win. So
Yeah.
the narrative is that if he was hated or if he was questioned, that's all dead now. Conor Benn proved his mettle
Okay.
and won fans. Now I'm just telling you, I'm not
Good for
saying it's,
Conor Benn.
I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm saying I can only go off what I read. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It very much seems this is the sport with the shortest term memory on earth.
Short memory. What have you
It's
done for me lately? And
yes, it
he did
already
something.
seems like
He did something for people lately.
yes, it seems like all is
Okay.
forgiven. You know what I mean? So I don't okay, so you're saying it favors him, not favors him more, that he's the one who benefits more from a rematch. Whether that's true or not, I'll tell you this: he definitely has better options than Chris Eubank Jr. Now,
Agreed.
he can probably go to 3 weight classes right now. He could go back down to 47, chase a belt in Barrios. He could be food for Boots.
I think that's a great plan.
Eddie brings Boots over to the UK. Well, that could fucking happen. Because can he fight a guy at 54? Yes, he can.
Now let me ask you this. Will the Benz agree to a fight with Boots? If they just made $8 million or $6.2 million, £5 million, right?
Yeah. And we're saying it could be close to 10 if the numbers did good. Do you take
He ain't
one
fighting fucking Boots to
for
get the shit
1.2
kicked out of
million?
him
Yeah,
in Philly.
right, for 1.2
Yeah.
million and
So
get packed up.
to answer the court of public appeal, he's redeemed himself. If it's old Brendo, nah, man.
They guarantee you next, not a couple, next fight, 47-pound championship title fight against Mario Barrios, and you're the Ben team. Do you take that or do you run it back?
You take that. Well, right now they're bigger than the belts, right?
Right now they are.
I'm telling you right now, there's no way Chris Eubank is going to take the fight on the same circumstances.
And I'm telling you, I'm not fucking, even though I got pinched and I'm a cheat, I'm not going. Yeah, all right, I'm letting you hydrate back to being a light heavy. What the fuck are you
And
talking about?
I agree with that too.
We just went to fucking life and
Mate,
death.
we just
Either one of us is
we
gonna
just
budge.
became legends.
We just came legends, bro. Bro, why would I do that? I'm gonna give you
like our fathers.
right.
Well, those guys fought at middleweight, then fought at super middleweight.
They did, but they were both equally matched
I know.
size-wise.
I know.
Those
What I'm saying is,
uppercuts,
bro, my guy, I don't think this rematch is going to happen.
because
I hope I'm wrong.
look, I think you run it back. I don't know who concedes or who should concede. If we go by history, the winner dictates the rematch, but the winner is nobody without this particular.
Right. Where does he go?
If they stand on business and say no, what the fuck does Chris Eubank do?
But what does he have to do now? He just got an 8 million pound payday. And he's already wealthy from his career.
No, you want that second bag. You want that second bag in September. Badly.
Okay.
Badly.
All right, mate.
All right, bro. Good fight. A cracker.
All right, guys, we're going to try something new. We're going to bring you
Yes.
2 shows a week.
We're trying something new here.
1 show a week.
Right.
So, here we are. And what I do at the end of 1 show, I'm going to do
at the end of 2 shows.
2 shows.
Yeah, tell us what you like better. Billy Bindlesticks thinks that
don't put this on me.
Yeah, well, no,
you're the producer.
Hey,
you're producing.
You're the produce.
Yeah, but don't let the
you
people
guys
know how the
Brendo didn't come to the show.
Yeah, you don't let them know how the macaroni's made.
Hey, all right. Maybe could be. I didn't come to the table with this. Brendo didn't come to the table with this. Pablo didn't come to the table with this. So who did?
So all the guys with long Wednesday morning drives, I apologize.
Right.
Yeah.
You have
send all hate to @Billy_Bindlesticks. Correct?
Correct.
Billy _Bindlesticks. All right, so you guys can hit me. What we're gonna do is we'll give you guys a review show and a preview show.
Sure.
And we're just gonna split it up for you guys because
we'll do news and reviews, and then we'll preview this weekend's fights.
Just
we'll see how it works.
A little bit change in format for everybody, and we hope that it makes for a better show for you guys at home, and that's why we're doing it.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, we will go back.
And we will listen to you guys.
Yeah, we will.
If you guys write in and kill us.
Yeah, if you murder us,
Right. So hit me at the Killer B24 on Twitter, at I_no_that_kid on IG, at KOTB Boxing on IG. Write us at KOTBboxing@gmail, and check us out at KOTB Podcast on YouTube.
At Vinnie_Paz on the Twitter, at BoxCutterPazzi on IG. God Send Vengeance out now, guys. Thank you so much for all the support, the love. It means so much to me. I can't express it enough. JMTstore.com for all physical product and merch, things like that. The other deals, Spotify and all that, you all know how to work that. Apple Music, for those complaining, Billy, they're not helping us. So for all Apple Music listeners, we don't know what to tell you. It's definitely not us. For everyone who rocks with me and my music, thank you so much. The numbers, the love.
We're working on getting it up.
Everything. Hey, yo.
That's what she said.
On Apple.
Everything has been great. I love y'all. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Say goodnight, Billy.
Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.